Pod pays.
Stop. Stop being so efficient and productive, and instead choose to be effective. And when you do this, you're using the Pareto Principle or the 80-20 rule. Find out why choosing the right customers and clients usually beats finding any and all customers and clients on this episode
on This Week in Marketing. Hey everyone, I'm Darren Lake and welcome to This Week in Marketing, another podcast by Metigy. Each episode, we answer questions or talk about one specific idea to help you market and operate your small to medium enterprise better. And we do that by making them easy to digest, short, and concise, because we've all got a business to run.
We've got our friends Kevin George from the B2B Playbook podcast to take over the next few episodes. Kevin Chen and George Koudenaris are a unique team. They are both ex-lawyers turned digital marketing wizards. And with over 10 years of experience between them, their main objective is to help business owners with proven, detailed strategies to drive demand and grow. Their podcast is the holy grail playbook that any business owner or marketer can use, no matter how early or advanced they are in their marketing journey. Make sure you go and check it out anywhere you can get podcasts or the show notes description.
All right, George, we're back for episode 2 of the mini-series with This Week in Marketing. And this week, it's all about knowing your best customers.
Kev, I wish I knew who my best customers were. Remember how miserable I was in December, January?
Yeah, you were pretty miserable.
Which is unusual for me, right? I'm normally a pretty happy chappy. I think I told you why, right? It was my biggest customer, right? They were so demanding of my time. They had really unrealistic expectations of what they wanted me to do. They wanted phone calls after hours, and it was just exhausting. Yes, they were paying me the most, but I had clients paying me half as much, and they never bothered me. They didn't even want to talk to me, which is an issue because I love attention, but I want that happy balance of being left alone and also attention.
Yeah, listeners, he really needs the attention.
Yeah, well, they lighten the load on you. They lighten the burden. So what did I do? Why am I such a happy chappy again now, Kev? Well, I took inspiration from Tim Ferriss, who said that to really focus on what matters and to grow your business, you have to get rid of the people and the customers that are really weighing you down, even if they're your biggest customers. So I put my big boy pants on and I fired my biggest client. And yes, it was a hit in terms of revenue, but since then I've had so much more time to focus on getting more of those customers which actually fit my business like a glove, that do leave me alone and do talk to me every now and then. But
I'll tell you what, George, you are a lot happier these days.
Yeah, I'm much, much happier. And it came down to really focusing on the clients that matter.
George, this sounds like a great practical application of the 80-20 principle. For listeners and viewers out there, 80-20 principle really quickly is that 80% of your results come from 20% of the effort or clients or whatever it might be. And that principle can be applied anywhere, whether that's life or business. Actually, the guy that founded the principle was planting peas at the time, and he found that 20% of his plants were yielding 80% of the crop.
Yes, our Italian friend Vilfredo Pareto. So he was actually an Italian economist. And yes, once he applied it to the pea pods and finding that 80% of the healthy pea pods came from just 20% of the plants, well, he then applied it to land ownership in Italy. And he found that 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the people. And it just became a really well-founded principle. And if you don't believe us, if you don't believe Vilfredo Pareto, see if you can apply it to your own life. I don't know about you, Kev, but I wear 20% of my clothes 80% of the time.
Listeners and viewers, the reason why we're talking about George's wardrobe habits is because you can apply that same principle to businesses with limited resources. Every business has its constraints, and to get the most out of those limited resources, you need to focus in on the 20% of your best clients, 20% of your efforts that's yielding 80% of the results.
Yeah, and your best clients, Kevin, they're not the ones that bring you the most revenue. Like my client that I fired, they brought me the most revenue, but they tied me up and I couldn't progress as a business. So don't just look at things like revenue. Think about things like their potential for growth. Do they keep you there after hours? Do they need a lot of customer support? Just see what's most important to your business and do they fit that? And that is really where you get the 80-20 rule working.
And the tip here is also to look at your why. So we just defined in the last episode what your why is. So you can start to put that in mind as you make these business decisions, because they're really going to drive where you push your business efforts.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I did it. It allowed me more time to find more of those best fit clients, the ones that don't bother me so much. I got to launch another product, which was awesome. So I really encourage the listeners and viewers out there to apply that 80-20 rule to your business. Give it a go. You're sure to find some Easter eggs out there.
From Metigy, you've listened to This Week in Marketing. Again, I'm Darren, and Metigy hopes we helped you find more insights and tips into your business. If you like what you heard, please share a link to another business owner or marketer who you think could get something from this. Also, to help us out, it would be great if you left a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. Last, never miss another episode by following or subscribing to us on your favorite podcast player. See you on the next episode.